wanted to show you guys something here real quick. It'll just take a few minutes here. This is the current radar view in Illinois, and I think I see why, amidst the overall setup, we're seeing a lot of these storms produce boundaries tonight. Matter of fact, watch here. Watch this. I'll put this. This is Paducah's loop in order here. You can't see it as well here, but if you go up to Lincoln's radar on these same storms, look at this. Look at these outflows. All these little lines right here. All these little lines right here coming out of these storms. These are where the storms have put down their rains. The winds have spread out along the ground, and it makes these little cold fronts, essentially, is what they are. And what you're seeing is because the atmosphere is unstable, we have other boundaries around, a little bit of jet stream energy too, kind of interacting with all this. And look at what we're getting. We're getting a lot of storms, a lot of destructive outflow interference, a lot of storms competing for energy. And I think overall this is keeping, while the tornado threat's not zero, I think it's keeping it down. Weaker general low-level shear, too, has led to a lot of hail. Less chaos from the surface to cause less churning aloft. We got decent bulk shear. So with the instability in place and the freezing levels where they're at, we're getting very effective hail producers here. And quite a number of these storms are very large hail producers. And like I said, because the directional shear is weaker, a lot of these storms either don't stay surface-based very long, or they stay elevated, or they'll form downwind of these, or what I would call the cool side. Like a lot of these storms right here are forming on the cool side of that outflow boundary right there that's moving westward. And we're seeing them congeal into kind of a HP mess. That's what we got going there. But we've had numerous large hail reports. Some of these storms down here have even produced hail around 2 inches in diameter. And I'm going to show you up here toward where the greater tornado threat was projected today, even though there is a severe thunderstorm watch. And some of the same things are happening here. You see another very large outflow boundary coming from activity that from several hours ago, as a matter of fact, that went across portions of north central, northeast Iowa, and what's left of it's still heading toward eastern Iowa and then to southwestern portions of Wisconsin, right around the Davenport area. They can see those storms. And even those storms, look here. Watch there near Iowa City. You can see more outflow boundaries getting put out. So generally what this is telling me is lots of instability, very steep low and mid-level lapse rates. Precipitable water values probably pretty high as well. Ample moisture in the atmosphere, but the storms are having trouble staying surface-based, and generally owing to weaker directional shear. And in some cases, in many cases, I would say, these storms are actually elevated. And hence, what you get wind damage reports and a lot of hail reports. And look at these hail reports. Radar Omega likes to abbreviate these, so that's a 2-inch hail report. There's a 2.75-inch hail report. I have seen some pictures of some hail damaging structures earlier. Let's see, here's a 2.5-inch hail report here. And so you get a lot of these storms blowing up, but they don't really stay sustained. They kind of cluster. They get kind of messy. Now, with the wind's about 5,000 feet off the ground, increasing overnight as a low pressure enters this area. And there is kind of a surface boundary in there as well, interacting with these other boundaries. There could be an uptick in the tornado activity with cells that can stay discrete. Otherwise, probably what you see here in conjunction with that boundary going south of Des Moines, that's probably going to form the what I showed in the previous video of kind of a potentially a very significant damaging wind threat if they can organize and keep lots of precipitation behind them, kind of that cold pool cooling that we talk about, and that develops and it's going. I would say probably this area right here would probably be the area that would have the best chance of seeing us a significant damaging winds, and if it can backbuild on the southern part of that outflow here, maybe even down into this area, before it eventually comes into Illinois and then eventually into Indiana, and we get kind of the leftovers like we did this morning. So watching it carefully.